Hi and welcome back to my YouTube channel and to my new video where I'm talking about my third month as an entrepreneur. My name is Julia Arndt and I'm a stress and mindfulness trainer, personal development coach and keynote speaker. And if you have been around on my YouTube channel, you know by now that every month I'm recording a new video around my experiences, my thoughts, and all the things that happened per month as an entrepreneur, because I only left my corporate job 3 months ago. And so it's all super exciting, and I'm recording this of course for myself because it's really interesting to see kind of how I'm going along, but also for you. And I want to share with you all of my learnings, and I want to show you that it's not that easy to be an entrepreneur on the one hand, but on the other hand it's also super exciting and rewarding. And yeah, if you haven't done yet, make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel right down here, and also hit the bell for notifications. That's the only way of how you're notified when new content is online. And I'm publishing new videos every Monday and every Friday. My third month as an entrepreneur. Let's jump in and talk about how that was for me. So in the month of April, I had 2 events that I went to, and I want to talk a little bit about that. The first event that I went to was actually April 1st, hahaha, no joke. And I went to Google Chicago to give a talk on harnessing the power of stress management. It was a 1-hour talk that I held in front of almost 70 people, and it went super well. First of all, in the morning when I got up, we had a red-eye flight to Chicago and then went back to bed for 3 hours before we got ready for the event. And when I woke up in the morning, I was mega stressed out. I usually always feel nervousness and stress really in my stomach, like I'm having a hard time to eat something because I just feel kind of slightly sick. And then we got ready and I tried to like eat at least a toast and get some energy into me. And then we walked over to the Google facilities, and honestly, the closer I came to the office, the more relaxed I felt, because I obviously worked for Google for 7.5 years, and it's like coming home to me. All of the office are really similar of how they are structured and set up. So like coming there and going there was really a homecoming for me, and it felt really amazing and I was feeling so grateful. So we got there and got the room ready, and then there were 70 people there, and of course you never really know how people react to your talk, which was an incredible experience for me, right? Because you're sitting at home and you're preparing, all of the content, and you're thinking about what would be the best thing to deliver, so people start thinking about better ways of how they manage their stress. And it went really well. I couldn't have expected that even like to go better than it was. I think the best thing for me was to see that people laughed a lot and they really enjoyed the content and they really related to it. I had a lot of people sitting in the audience nodding when I was talking about certain experiences, and like I said, I had a lot of people laughing in certain areas, and it was really great. And yeah, you know how it is, like at the beginning you're so nervous, and especially, I've been preparing for this for a week or 2 at least, like really in depth. And once I was there, it was pretty cool, and the 1 hour went by really, really fast. But it was really great, and I'm so grateful for this experience. I already mentioned that. And I think the thing that helped me the most to actually be calm in that moment was being prepared. And I never really sat down and really talked through a speech as often as I did for this one. I usually feel this little bit of inner resistance of like, oh, I don't want to sit down and like talk through what I'm going to talk about because I already know all these things. But then once you actually do sit down and start practicing, you realize that you might not be as fluid as you want to be. At least that's the case for me. So really what I did, I think 5 days before I went to the talk was already done and ready to go a week before I went. And I really sat down every day 5 days before the event, and I practiced my speech at least once or twice to be really comfortable and know in each section what I really want to say and talk about. And it gave me a lot of confidence, of course, and it made me less nervous. And at the same time, I feel like the message was just brought across a lot stronger as well, because I was really clear in what I said. So that was an amazing experience for me, and I can only recommend that. I'm doing that now all the time. I'm going to talk about the second event in a second, and I did the exact same thing there as well. So yeah, so that was really great. And then I came back from Chicago. We had a couple of more photo shootings with my wonderful photographer and videographer. And yeah, and then we went back and I was pretty exhausted. I think I needed probably 2 or 3 days to just kind of relax from that whole situation. And my photographer and my fiance were sick as well over those couple of days. So I was really scared to catch a cold. And so I felt like my immune system was a little bit down and I just needed a couple of days to recuperate. And at the same time, of course, when you're coming back from events like that, you feel extremely inspired and motivated to keep going. So when I came back, I was thinking about what can I do for my clients and for the people that listen to me in the talks to really help them integrate the learnings that they had and create a new habit, because it's so important. And in my yearly overview plan, I had definitely planned to do an 8-week online program at some point this year, but I was always thinking about doing that more towards the end of the year because there's just so much going on at the moment. But because of the experience that I had and the conversations that I had with the people at the event, I decided to start it now. So I've been planning a lot the modules that I want to integrate into my 8-week online program, which is super exciting, as you can imagine. And I've been also recruiting some early testers for my 8-week online program to make sure that when I'm doing the program, when I'm recording myself, it's going to be a lot more authentic, so people actually participate and see me, and I think it's going to be a little bit more easy for me in this way. So I was thinking a lot about what I want to do in the 8-week online program. I wrote down the different modules. I started to structure all of these things. I started to get some initial feedback from friends and my sister if they think the structure is good enough. I met with my graphic designer to talk about a really amazing workbook to make sure that people, you know, have also the visual satisfaction when they're going through the program. And so that was really fun. And then I talked with my sister because she had just recently interviewed an old friend of mine for her podcast. Her name is Catherine. And Catherine just recently got into laughter yoga. And I found that really interesting because I never really had heard about laughter yoga. I didn't really know what it was. And I basically learned that laughter yoga is a combination of laughter exercises with yogic breathing. So I set up a meeting with Catherine and we talked about how I can start integrating laughter yoga into my trainings, because laughter yoga is a really amazing tool to release stress and get endorphins. So yeah, so she taught me how to become a laughter yoga instructor, which was really helpful because at the end of April, I had another event that I went to and I actually did my first laughter yoga exercise with a group of 15 people, which was so fun. So yeah, so let me talk about the second event. So my friend Rachel O'Mara, who is an author of the book Pause, had a 3-day retreat in San Francisco at the end of April to talk about the power of pause. And so she invited me for a couple of different things on her agenda. The first one was a panel discussion where we talked about how to thrive in an always-on world. And then the second day, I did an exercise on laughter yoga, and then I gave my speech as well around harnessing the power of stress management. So that was an amazing weekend, pretty tiring. And I think the biggest realization that I had was when I drove to San Francisco from Tahoe, which is around a 3.5-4 hour drive. I literally got to San Francisco and I was so exhausted. And I told myself, how did I do this for 3 years in a row? Every week. It's crazy. Like really, I got to the event and my whole body was kind of vibrating and pumping, and I usually never really do that, but I literally sat down for 5 minutes and closed my eyes and just kind of focused on my body. Some people might call it meditation. I just kind of call it body scan or a relaxation exercise to really get back to myself and get into the present moment, because I was so vibrating after standing in traffic and really just kind of being having these tense muscles. And obviously I'm always thinking about these things because it's all stress, right? Like there's the stress response right there. And so it really helped me to just kind of get back into my head and into my body by just sitting down and relaxing for 5 minutes before jumping into the next thing. And yeah, and then I did the laughter yoga Sunday, which was really great. I think people really enjoyed it, and I'm starting to integrate that now into my trainings as well. And I always think that the coolest thing about these events is really the conversations that you have with the participants, because once you see how people connect to your story, or how people, you know, pick up certain skills and tools that you're sharing, that's always such a rewarding experience. So I, for example, talked about my morning routine and what I'm doing in the morning to really kind of calm my mind first before giving out my energy to other people. And a lot of people actually connected to this. So I will have a video as well on my morning routine that you can check out. I will link the link over there. And yeah, it was really great. So my biggest learning for the month of April is really around my own stress levels. So what I really want to share with you is that I am really a stressed out person. I think I already mentioned it in my month 2 as well. And you know, I've been really thinking about what can I do differently? What is kind of maybe blocking me mentally that I'm always getting into this super stressed out state? And one of the biggest realizations that I had is that in the morning, I would always wake up and I feel pretty stressed and anxious around all the things that I want to get done. I'm such an ambitious person, and I have always a huge to-do list of things to do. And yeah, and then, you know, I kind of go into the day and I feel a little bit tense, and I'm like, you know, working like crazy and trying to get everything ready. And then at the end of the day, I always realize that I got everything done that I wanted to get done. So that's been a really interesting kind of thought process for me with a lot of things. So not just about the things that I want to get done, but also with the example of the different events that I went to over this month, right? Like every time kind of leading up to the event, I feel really stressed out, and there are so many things I want to do, and I want to practice, and I want to have good content, and I want to have great handouts. Like there's always so many things that go into it. And then at the end, like afterwards, I always realize, I always, you know, reflect back and think, well, actually everything went great and I did a great job and I can be proud of myself. And there's not really a reason to, you know, make myself be so hard on myself and be stressed out about it. So that's really something that I'm trying to work on, that I've been trying to work on over the last 2 weeks, I'd say, where I'm really thinking about, hey, okay, I know that I'm getting things done. I am a good organizer. I'm really well structured. So why always start a day with the fear of not getting everything done? You know what I mean? So I want to challenge you as well to think about maybe a couple of things or ways that you have constantly on your mind and that might be blocking or stressing you for no reason, right? Because we stress ourselves so often, like I just said, like me, about getting all of the things that I want to get done. And then at the end of the day, I'm like, everything went well and I shouldn't worry about, you know, not getting everything done. And even if something would stay, that's not the end of the world either. So I'm really working on this for myself at the moment. And yeah, going into May is super exciting, of course, for me. As I mentioned, I'm starting my 8-week online program with 10 early testers. I have amazing people from amazing companies. I can't say too much about it just yet, but I'm so excited to have them share this experience with me, get feedback from them, of course, as well, on really making the content as crisp and relevant as possible for you. So stay tuned on the 8-week online program. If you're watching this video and you want to learn more, you can also head over to my website, www.bluemountainmindfulness.com/courses, and you can sign up to receive more information about the 8-week online course once the information is readily available. And yeah, we also went on not a couple of mini vacations. We also went on a mini vacation in April. I do want to mention that as well. We went to Arizona for 5 days and it was so beautiful and I felt so relaxed and happy. We actually started our trip here in Tahoe and the first stop was Zion National Park. So we camped there overnight with a beautiful overview and a beautiful view over the rocks. It was amazing. And then we drove to Grand Canyon, Antelope Canyon, if you've seen that, like it has like these super beautiful red structures. And then we continued to meet my fiance's parents in Sedona in Arizona. And we spent 2 days there with mountain biking and just being outside and catching up with family. And it was such a nice experience. And I started to get back into my workout routine. I think it might have been something that I mentioned in my month 2 video, that I want to get more into exercise again. And I'm happy to say I did. I'm not super consistent yet, but I started to run again, which I'm so happy about. I think I already went for 4 runs in total over the last maybe 10 days, and I went 2 more yoga classes again, which always relaxes and calms me so much. I went inline skating. Unfortunately, I hurt my wrist a little bit while doing that, so I have to be kind of careful at the moment, but I really want to pick that up as well because it's so fun. And I've been doing it for such a long time. And so yeah, so inline skating, running, mountain biking and yoga is kind of what I'm integrating back into my day at the moment. And also it's May now, so we're really close to summer getting started here in beautiful Tahoe. And yeah, I want to just be ready, you know? So yeah, so I'm doing that. And then lastly, what I want to share is just how grateful I am at the moment to be here in Tahoe and to fulfill that dream that I had for so many years, that I'm working from home, you know, that I am my own boss and then I can schedule my day just as I want it to be. And then driving home, for example, on Sunday night from San Francisco and going back to Tahoe instead of the other way around. I just can't tell you how grateful I am about this. I am so happy that I can be here and yeah, creating the life that I always wanted. And I'm so proud of that. And I'm sure that you can do it too. We have so much power. There's so many amazing things that we can do once we set our mind to it. So I really want to encourage you that if you're maybe thinking about taking that step, taking that leap that seems so scary, to do it. Really, I have not regretted it one day. I actually just sent a voicemail to my mom this week and I said to her, I'm so happy that I'm here and it was the best decision I've ever made in my life, and I have time now to go out with my fiance in the evenings and go on a date night. I have time to go with him on a lunch break if I want to. I have time to go to my yoga class in the morning, and like all these little things make me feel so grateful and so happy because I couldn't do this for the longest time, and now being able to do that makes my heart burst with joy. So this is everything that I wanted to share with you today. I hope you took a couple of insights and learnings from this as well. And yeah, if you want, check out a couple of my other videos. There's a lot of content here already on how you can better manage your stress, and also there's a couple of cool event videos that you can check out. We did a cool video on our event in Google Chicago, so if you want to see a little bit more behind the scenes and also see how people reacted, check that video out as well. Alright, so thank you so much and I talk to you really soon. Bye bye!